Like to live in a country full of lies and propaganda, tax cuts for the idle rich, layoffs for the working poor, and the golden rule is he who has the gold makes the rules. The United States government is violating our human rights by installing roadblocks, checkpoints along our surface streets and U.S. highways just to see if drivers are wearing their seatbelt. Some Americans call this the American dream. I call it the American nightmare. Hello, Chicago. I'm your host, Bruce Pelletier, and you're watching The Bad Americans. Our good country is no longer great simply because we settle for a good and we try to live as responsible citizens within a framework of highly developed system that is doomed for failure. I say with a heavy heart, no one is looking out for us, Jack. Today on my panel we have Lori Dake.
Hi.
Dick Pull Up the Ass.
Hello.
Scott Davidson, who will be arriving shortly. Our special guest today, Uncle Scam. General Patton. And Kelly Green. Now, on our panel today, we're also going to cover the serial killer Gary Ridgway as our Bad American of the Month. Our other topics are we're going to regard the FCC regulations and DOT regulations for 2004. This is a live call-in show, so have your questions ready. And we're going to ask, should marijuana be decriminalized in the United States of America? Our telephone number is area code 312-738-1845. This is an open panel. Let's begin with you, Lori. What's on your mind?
While you're talking about legalization, I would say for a medicinal purpose, yeah, there is a lot of research going on for that. I'm sorry, though, recreational use I don't agree with.
What would you have to say, Mr. Pull Up the Ass?
I absolutely agree with Lori. I would go one step further, though. Not only should marijuana use not be decriminalized, I think we need to increase these penalties because these kids are getting off way too easy today. There's probation and all this. We need to educate the American public about the penal system here in this country and the consequences of their actions. That's what I think.
Yeah, he would know a lot about penal.
Kelly, what is your opinion? Now, you're on a show. This is your first time on our show.
Yes.
So how's things going with you now? What do you got to say about this? You're free, peace, and
yes.
harmony, and all that.
Yes, I've always been one of the local hippie chicks, and I say make love and not war.
Do you agree with that, General?
It's always been my motto.
I am the general of peace, and that's what I stand for. And I'm going to declare peace soon as I become the new president.
Well, that's good.
We need
First
to
I have
declare
to be the
peace,
general of war,
not
though.
war.
Okay, I got a question for you, General. Though largely illegal since 1937, marijuana was an effective alternative, more commonly prescribed drugs for some diseases. So far, 14 states have allowed this medical use despite the federal ban. General, would you agree the war on drugs is just a waste of taxpayer dollars, and should this war come to an end?
It's totally just a war, you know, that they're making money off of. It's because it's marijuana is not the problem. Even alcohol is worse than marijuana. There's people who kill people and they're driving drunk, and you're not going to kill anybody when you're smoking pot.
You obviously haven't seen those commercials then.
Oh, reefer madness? Is that what it is?
You're a terrorist if you
Uncle
support
Scam.
marijuana.
Do you believe that Senator John Kerry of Massachusetts will end the war on drugs if elected president of the United States in 2004?
No, Bruce, I actually don't believe he will. He's actually a member of the Skull and Crossbones, which President Bush is a member of, the elite from Harvard. And Kerry would be accepted by the globalists the globalists won't allow somebody like Dennis Kucinich or Al Sharpton or Carol Moseley Braun to get the Democratic nomination. But no, Kerry is a centrist, and he was cool when he came out against the Vietnam War after the Vietnam War, but he's bought.
Now, he has a new book now called The Call to Service. He's got his new ideas. I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but it's supposed to be pretty interesting. Mr. Dick Pelletier has a question for you. Do you believe the issue surrounding drug testing will not be easily resolved, and do you feel the United States government should focus more on education and prevention?
Well, I think you mentioned drug testing. I think that's where the United States government focus should be on. I think until we start drug testing every American for drugs, then we're not going to get rid of this problem. You know, we can throw money at it, we can talk, we can run ads, but until we get serious about testing everyone, not just for marijuana, but for all drugs.
Including children?
Absolutely.
How young?
Test these people for children. Test the children for marijuana and other drugs.
How young?
Well, I think that they should have a test, as soon as they're, able to start peeing.
Because they're getting high on daddy's pot.
That's right.
Okay, let's
so we
hold
need to
that-
find these people and take them away from these drug-abusing parents.
All right, let's
You-
hold that
you
thought,
and
General. We have a caller on line one. Go ahead, caller. What is your question or comment, please?
Vote for Dick and Bush.
Go ahead, caller. You're
Yes,
on.
my name's Sam Anderson. I fought in the war against the Germans, and to listen to you talk as bad Americans.
Yeah, we are the bad Americans.
Are you-
Well, as bad Americans, I fought the war against the Krauts in Germany, and to have you sit there and talk about an American like Carol Moseley Braun, the only thing Carol Moseley Braun is she's a brown noser.
We're not
Well,
talking about
gentlemen,
She's a brown
please.
noser.
And as far as marijuana used as a medicinal purpose, for myself, I've got the testicular cancer in my testicle area, and it's the only thing that relieves me. A good smoking, or a good smoking from some of the ladies of the night, if you will,
Gotcha.
down on 55th and Cermak, the old ham and egg job to the lowball region.
All right.
Curb service.
Now, let me ask you, sir, how many joints do you smoke on an average in a week?
In a week, how many do I smoke?
How many marijuana cigarettes would you say you would indulge yourself in during a week to ease your pain?
Well, that would have to be in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 a day there, Sammy.
Hey,
Oh, that's about 20 joints. That's as much as a pack of cigarettes. And according to my research and everything, cannabis does not have any cancer-related substance inside it. It's the cigarettes. And Uncle Scam, I got to ask you one question. I believe that the United States government is making people smoke cigarettes so they can kill off the working class so they don't have to pay our taxes and give us our Social Security benefits later on.
Killing off the working class by giving a marijuana cigarette.
Yeah, they should legalize it. Thanks. Did you have another question or comment, sir?
Yes, I've got one more question.
Okay.
It's more of a comment there. I really feel like if you gentlemen are going to be talking about the state of the union and such, then especially Mr. Pelletier there, who's the leader of the pack, if you will, the wolf, the alpha wolf, if you will,
Oh, I'm not wolf, sir.
really needs to learn how to read to some substantial level when he starts the show there. He sounds like a third grader on crack.